Welcome back to First Verse with Steve and Marissa.
Wait.
We're going to do Numbers chapter 36. Interesting chapter that ends Numbers. Not anything climactic or anything that you'd expect at the end of a book. This is
A wrap
titled...
up of another chapter,
Yeah,
basically.
it's the wrapped up of the previous chapter. So it's called, in some Bibles, it's called Inheritance of Zelophehad's Daughters. Some says female inheritance. Some says marriage of female heirs. I'll let you start. Oh, just kidding. All right, I'll start. Now the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, came near and spoke before Moses and the leaders, chief fathers of the children of Israel. And they said, "The Lord commanded my lord Moses to give the land as an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. And my lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now, if they are married to any of the sons of any other tribes of the children of Israel, then their inheritance will be taken from the inheritance of our fathers, and it will be added to the inheritance of the tribe in which they marry. So it'll be taken from the lot of our inheritance. And when the Jubilee of the children of Israel comes, then their inheritance will be added to the inheritance of the tribe into which they marry, so their inheritance will be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of their fathers." Then Moses commanded the children of Israel according to the word of the Lord, saying, "What the tribe of the sons of Joseph speaks is right. This is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, Let them marry whom they think best, but they may marry only within the family of their father's tribe." So the inheritance of the children of Israel shall not change hands from tribe to tribe, for every one of the children of Israel shall keep the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter who possesses an inheritance in the family of her father's tribe. Nope, hang on, I think I skipped a line. And every daughter who possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be the wife of one of the family of her father's tribe, so that the children of Israel may possess the inheritance of his fathers. Thus no inheritance shall change hands from one tribe to another, but every tribe of the children of Israel shall keep its own inheritance. Okay, any notes that stand out right now?
Mine just has a note talking about the daughters, saying that Zelophehad had 5 daughters but no sons. After he died, his daughters appealed to Moses because the inheritance normally passed through the male line. The family line of Zelophehad would have disappeared. God told Moses that if a man died without sons, then the inheritance would go to his daughters. This was back in chapter 27.
Yeah.
But the question of marriage arose. Well, what if the daughters were to marry outside their tribe?
Mm-hmm.
The land would belong to another tribe at the year of Jubilee. Oh, so they didn't want to lose their familial land to another tribe.
Gotcha, yeah.
Okay, that tracks a little bit better now. So Moses commanded that in such cases, the women should marry men only in their own clan and tribe so that each tribe would retain its original inheritance.
Okay.
Later, when the tribes received their land under Joshua, the daughters of Zelophehad received their inheritance as God had instructed. That was in Joshua chapter 17. We don't have to look. Okay. Yeah, it is an interesting,
Dilemma.
well, and it just makes me feel like I see so much of us as humans and the Israelites because there's been so many chapters we've read. Well, what about this one very specific situation, Moses? What do I do if they steal from me? Or like, what do I do if there's no sons? Like, it's just because we do that with God. Like,
Yeah.
well, what about this very specific situation, God? You didn't necessarily mention it in scripture, but
Yeah,
I have questions.
yeah, God, your word says this, but it doesn't really pertain to my situation over here.
Mm-hmm.
My exact situation. Okay, cool. Verse 10. Just as the Lord commanded Moses, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. For Mala, Tisra, Hogla, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married to the sons of their father's brothers. They were married into the families of the children of Manasseh and the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their tribe of their father's family. These are the commandments of the these are the commandments and the judgments which the Lord commanded the children of Israel by the hand of Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. Say that 5 times fast.
Possibly an ancient name for the Jordan River.
Yeah.
I just had a thought. Like, Joseph's sons were probably half Egyptian, right?
They were, yes.
So, like, I just find it interesting that, like, part of the Israelite heritage involves some Egyptian heritage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they left Egypt, but some of Egypt went with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, just cool to me. It says, oh, sorry, you go.
In some accounts, some of the Egyptians actually left with the Israelites.
I think that's why it kept like saying like, and the aliens among you. Because there were some people that were not full-blooded Israelite. But I like that Joseph's sons were grafted in. Meaning, while they were not full-blooded Israelite, they were grafted in and called Israelite, you know?
And that's what God does to us. We're not Israeli, but we are grafted in.
My last note on the last verse basically just says the book of Numbers covers 39 years and closes with the Israelites poised near the banks of the Jordan River with the promised land in sight, even though we learned through this book that they had already conquered 3 clans worth of promised land. The wanderings in the desert have come to an end, and the people are preparing for their next big move, the conquest of the land. The Apostle Paul says that the events described in Numbers are examples that warn us and help us avoid the Israelites' mistakes. From their experiences, we learn that unbelief is disastrous. We also learn not to long for the sinful pleasures of the past, to avoid complaining, and to stay away from all forms of sexual sin. We must not weaken our biblical beliefs by compromising them with our culture's values. If we choose to let God lead our lives, we should not ignore his message in the book of Numbers. I'm curious what Paul says.
A summary of Numbers at the end of the chapter. So the book of Numbers was written in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. So it was basically written down by Moses at the very end of the book, so to speak, just before the entrance into Canaan. It records the conquest of kingdoms of Sihon and Og, east of the Jordan, and the experience of Balaam coming from the east to curse or prophesy, from the east to curse or prophesy of Israel. Therefore, Numbers had to be written after this in preparation to the entrance of Canaan. So the author was Moses, the lawgiver and leader of Israel. You can say something if you want.
Oh, I was just going to read what Paul said.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 10, verse 1 through 12. Warnings from Israel's history. 10, verse 1. For I do not want you to be ignorant of the fact, brothers, that our forefathers were all under the cloud, and that they all passed through the sea. They were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. They all ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Christ. I'm still shocked that Moses messed up the rock thing so bad the second time.
Yep.
Because the whole time we were reading Numbers, I was wondering, okay, what's going to be the moment? And it was that.
What's that?
Nevertheless, God was not pleased with most of them. Their bodies were scattered over the desert. Verse 6. Now these things occurred as examples to keep us from setting our hearts on evil things as they did. Do not be idolaters, as some of them were. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and got up to indulge in pagan revelry. That's a weird word. We should not commit sexual immorality as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 of them died. We should not test the Lord as some of them did, and were killed by snakes. And do not grumble as some of them did. It's the way Paul has written is hilarious. Not hilarious that they disobeyed, but some of them did. Not all of them, but some of them did. And were killed by the destroying angel. Verse 11. These things happened to them as examples and were written down as warnings for us, on whom the fulfillment of the ages has come. So, if you think you are standing firm, be careful that you do not fall. I'm going to read 13 just to finish it off. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it. Oh, that's a good verse.
Yeah. So
I'm going to hang on to that.
I'm going to read the theme of what Numbers is supposed to be about, and I really wish I knew about this. Otherwise, I would have read this in the very beginning. The book derives its name from the fact that it records two great numberings and orders of the children of Israel, one in the second year after the exodus from Egypt, and the other at the end of the wilderness wanderings immediately before the entrance into Canaan. There were about 38 years between the two numberings. Numbers takes up the story of Israel from Egypt to Canaan, where Exodus left it. It is the book of the wilderness, consequent to the failure of Israel in refusing to enter Canaan at Kadesh Barnea.
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrew title is Bemidbar. Hang on. Bemidbar. I think.
I don't know.
Which means in the wilderness, because it records what takes place there in the wilderness. The numberings begin being only two of the many events in the wanderings. Typically, it is the book of service and walk of Israel before Jehovah, as the book of Genesis in the book of beginnings, and the creation and the fall of man, as Exodus is the book of redemption for God's people, and Leviticus is the book of worship and fellowship with Jehovah in his typical redemption program. Numbers also records various new laws for Israel in view of her immediate entrance into Canaan. Okay.
No, I don't really have anything else significant. Do you?
Nope.
Don't
know what we're going to read
Yeah,
next.
pray for us for discernment.
We got it.
Well, we got to figure it out by tomorrow.
I might solo Deuteronomy, and we can read something else
Okay,
together.
solo lovely.
Arise. All right. Bye.